Good morning, everybody. How are you all? I'm doing well. I'm Nupur. Welcome everybody to my YouTube channel, Nature at the Very Core of Science. I will be continuing today reading the storybook, The Best Fight. Today, we will be seeing what is happening in Chapter 7. In Chapter 6, we find that Jamie's dad revealed a secret of his lateness in reading to Jamie, and there was a very good bonding between father and Jamie. Let's see what happens next. The rest of detention week all ran together when Jamie thought about it afterwards. He remembered how carefully Mr. Wilson had listened to all his questions, and he could hear Mr. Wilson's quiet voice answering, explaining, not letting go of an idea until he was sure that Jamie understood. Jamie would ask a lot of questions, and sometimes he even argued with Mr. Wilson. He tried to remember everything so he could think about it while he walked home. His mom and dad didn't ask him anything more about his detentions, and he didn't tell them anything. Someday I will tell them, he thought. He didn't say anything to the other kids, of course, except for Stephen. Some of the things Mr. Wilson said were easy to remember. You learn most things well, Jamie. But there is one important thing you cannot learn as easily as most kids of your age, and that's reading. You have a reading disability. Jamie shied. I know, I have heard that crummy word before. Mr. Wilson nodded. It's a kind of heavy word, he said, but it's the right word for a heavy burden. You know how heavy it is. I wouldn't insult you by trying to say it is small or unimportant. Jamie did feel hurt by that word, disability. It had always sounded so bad to him, like a sickness that would never go away. But Mr. Wilson explained that it was a short way of saying that something was very, very hard to do. The way I see it, learning to read is a lot like learning to talk for most kids. After all, reading is seeing language instead of hearing it. I think brains must have a special way of learning reading. You could call it a reading advantage, an extra something that favors learning to read. Does that make sense? Jamie thought of his friends looking at their books, saying all the right words in first grade. It was like that for the other kids, but not for me. Mr. Wilson nodded. Well, that's where your disability comes in. Quite a few people, maybe 1 in 10, and you are one of them, Jamie, don't have that extra advantage. They have to learn to read the way they would tackle any other hard, complicated learning job. Does that sound like you? Indeed, reading is harder than anything. Jamie thought for a moment, except maybe piano lessons, but I didn't have to keep on taking them. He stopped again because his voice had gone funny. People have to read. Mr. Wilson didn't seem to notice the quaver in Jamie's voice. He was fiddling with a paperweight on his desk, the kind that made snow when it was turned upside down. He turned it, and they both watched while the snow swirled and cleared. Then he looked up with a smile. You can learn to read, Jamie, and you are learning, but you are doing it without any extra favors from your brain. You missed out on that built-in advantage. You are doing it the hard way. That night, Jamie tried to explain things to Stephen. He says my brain doesn't know reading is special. Most people's brains do know, and that helps them learn. He say it's a reading advantage. I don't have an advantage, and that's why it is hard for me. Jamie thought he would made a mess of explaining, but Stephen was nodding as if it made sense. Hey, he said, I like that. I always wondered how I learned to read when I was so little. He grinned. I'm not that brilliant. I have to work to be brilliant at most things. Tell me what he says next. Old Wilson knows some neat stuff. But Jamie kept quiet about the next thing Mr. Wilson talked about. You always say you can't read, but that's not exactly true, is it? You couldn't read a single word in first grade, but now you can read most of the things second and third grade kids read. What good is that? Jamie argued. I'm in 5th grade. I'm still miles behind everybody else. Sure, it's slow compared to your friends, but you are learning. Your good brain is carrying you ahead in reading just as fast as it can without that extra advantage. Jamie didn't tell Stephen because he felt embarrassed. Reading like a third grader was not much when Stephen could read like a grown-up. But Mr. Wilson was right. It was reading. Next time he and Stephen did a puzzle, he didn't give it to Stephen right away. He looked at it first and tried to read the directions. Stephen knew what he was doing, but that was okay. He didn't mind. Stephen was seeing him try, and he was surprised how many words he could read when he sounded them out. One day, Jamie and Mr. Wilson talked about fighting. "I have to fight," Jamie said. "I can't let the guys hassle me. If I let them do it, they won't be my friends anyway." How could he make Mr. Wilson understand? Everything must have been so different long ago when Mr. Wilson was a kid. Mr. Wilson smiled sympathetically. "I know you have been teased a lot, and I know you have something about it, but fighting is not the best answer. Want to hear about my 1-2 punch for handling teasing?" "Okay, sure." But something that worked when Mr. Wilson was a kid was not going to help him with Jason and the others. Just 2 parts to it. 1. Admit whatever you are being teased about. 2. Tease them back about something else. Try it. The first part takes the sting out of their teasing, and the second part hurts their feelings a little. Then it's no fun for them. It sounded as if it might work after all. That night, Jamie talked to Stephen about it. "Mr. Wilson told me a good put-down," he said, "but I'm not going to tell you what it was. Someday I will use it on you." Stephen laughed and gave him a shove. "I'm not scared. I can put down your put-down any time." They wrestled till they were out of breath, and Stephen's mom called, "That's enough, boys." Finally, Friday came. Mr. Wilson ended the last detention day with words that Jamie kept for his own and never told anyone. You think of yourself as a fighter, and you have got a fight on your hands. Jamie, a long, hard one. It's a fight to learn and succeed and be the best you can be, with no extra advantage, no extra favor. That's one worth fighting, Jamie, the best fight of all. Mr. Wilson stood up and held out his hand. "I think we have said some good things to each other, Jamie. Come and see me if you want to talk some more." Jamie surprised himself. He was feeling sorry that the week was over. He wished he could say something important, but all he could think of as he shook Mr. Wilson's hand was, "Thanks."